It was March 12th, 2019. I was home alone that night. My parents were on vacation, and my sister was spending the night with her girlfriend. Nothing unusual. I was lying in bed, scrolling through my phone, when I received a text from my boyfriend. We'll call him Mike. "Hey, what are you doing?" I texted him back saying, "I'm just chilling, nothing special." We chatted for a while, and we decided that he would come over to my house since everybody was gone. I sprang up from my bed and got myself ready. Some time passed before I heard a knock at my front door. That wasn't normal for him. He was one of those cliche boyfriends who would usually climb through my bedroom window. But since I was alone that night, I figured he didn't want to risk busting his ass. I went downstairs and looked through the peephole. No one was there. I then texted my boyfriend, "Hey, where'd you go?" He opened the text and read it, but did not respond. I thought that was strange. My thoughts were immediately interrupted as I heard another loud set of knocks, this time at the back door. Now, I was becoming nervous, and a feeling of dread began to set in. I received another text, not from my boyfriend this time, but from his brother. I almost dropped the phone when I read what was on the screen. "Mike lost his phone earlier today. He wanted me to tell you that he's going to be busy tonight studying for his exams." My heart practically skipped a beat when I received another text from Mike's number. "You look so adorable in your pajamas." Now I knew that somebody I didn't know was outside, watching me. Thinking quickly, I called my boyfriend's number. I heard a ringtone from upstairs, in my bedroom. I ran down the hall to my parents' room. My dad always kept a gun in his closet. After locking the door, I pulled it out, asking myself if I could go through with actually shooting someone. I heard footsteps above me. They soon slowly made their way down the stairs. I called 911 and reported the break-in, whispering into the phone. The dispatch told me the cops would be on their way. My stomach dropped when another call came in. The intruder had dialed my number. In all the panic, I forgot to put my phone on silent. I then heard laughter coming from down the hall. I cannot explain to you how terrifying it is to hear someone laughing in that situation. I was now scared for my life. I then heard a loud bang on the bedroom door. It soon flew open as the intruder entered the room. I saw the shine of a knife in his hand as he raised it into the air. I staggered back, but aimed my father's pistol and pulled the trigger. Mind you, I had never fired a gun before. My dad showed me how to operate it, but hadn't taken me to the range yet. I can't explain how this happened because my eyes were closed. But the shot I fired knocked the knife from the intruder's hand. I then aimed the gun at his head. "Don't move," I told him, making my voice sound as aggressive as possible. The guy must have thought I was a sharpshooter and had no idea that I actually got lucky. The police soon arrived and forced their way inside the house. They followed my shouting and made their way to the bedroom, where I still had the intruder at gunpoint. 2 officers put the man into cuffs. Once I got a good look at him, I can honestly say that I didn't recognize him from anywhere. Once he was in the back seat of a cruiser, one of the officers sat me down and took my statement. Long story short, My parents ended their vacation early, and my sister came home the next day. We still have no idea how long he had been watching me for, and how he managed to get Mike's phone. We're all glad that I made it out of that situation alive, and that the man is where he belongs, in jail.
My friend Anna and I were staying in an old motel in the middle of Nebraska for the night. We were on a 1-week-long camping trip, checking out national parks and camping out in nature. However, this particular night, there was a huge rainstorm coming. We decided that it would be smart to stay in a hotel room for tonight to avoid a terrible stormy night of sleeping and having all our gear getting soaked. The closest motel we found was a small cheap strip of rooms in the middle of nowhere. We bought our room for the night from the redneck-looking guy working at the front desk. The rain started early in the evening, so we ended up staying in our room all night, drinking and playing some games to pass the time. Anna and I went to bed around midnight, and it was easy to fall asleep to the sound of the downpour of rain coming down all around us. I woke up at some point in the night, not exactly sure by what, but I noticed there was light pouring into our room. I sat up in bed and glanced towards the door where the light was coming from. We had chain-locked the door where it could be opened just a crack, and as I was fully awake now, I realized that's where the light was coming from. The slim shiver of light shone all the way into the room, stretching its way across the floor to the foot of my bed. A quick glance over at the bed next to me confirmed that Anna was still sleeping, and it was not her who had the door open. Now fully awake, I decided to get out of my bed and check it out. Once I got past the foot of my bed, the doorway entered my view, and I was shocked by what I saw. The door was indeed open a crack, just as much as the chain would allow, and an arm was reaching through the crack, fumbling around trying to undo the chain that was the only thing keeping the door from being completely open. Instincts and adrenaline took over for me immediately. I ran towards the door and slammed my whole body weight against it, forcefully closing the door onto the arm that was still reaching through the crack. I heard a grunt on the other side, and the arm withdrew from the crack, and whoever was on the other side vanished. Anna, who was awoken by all the commotion, called the police, alerting them that there was an attempted intruder at the motel we were staying at. It was close to 5 a.m. now, and even though it was early, Anna and I agreed to pack up our stuff and hit the road. As we left our motel room, the police were already at the front desk talking to the worker. We were approached by a cop and asked if we were okay and if we saw who the culprit was. The man who was working at the front desk also appeared and kept repeating that he didn't see anyone while he was working. Funny enough though, he was holding his right arm very gingerly, and even when he wasn't holding it pretending to cross his arms, it hung oddly at his side. Right before heading out, we informed the cops that we suspected it was the guy working at the front desk who was attempting to enter our room. They told us they would look into it, and that's the only information we were given before we drove off, continuing our journey. I have no idea if they ever confirmed that the man working at the front desk had been the one attempting to enter our room. It was comforting to me, though, that even if the man didn't face any legal actions for that night, I had either broke his arm or severely injured it. Perhaps that would stop him from trying anything crazy like that again.